Hello and welcome back to the show. So it's time for the final map between these two teams fighting for survival here in Cluj, Napoca. So it's down to cash between these two teams. Dan, what are your thoughts?
It's been a pretty crazy ride actually. It's pretty amazing to witness mousesports able to be in this position where they can bring it to the third map. After the first map, it's so close. Then things weren't looking too amazing for them. I mean, it was a pretty close first half, but I wasn't very confident because it feels like G2 have been playing better overall so far in this series. But they brought it to cash, so it's that moment to reset. It's that moment to bring it all to a close and make it through the groups. And what a moment it could be for either one of these teams. It's such a huge deal to get through the groups and become a legend, James.
So you can see them having a quick chat with some of the DreamHack guys there, and they'll be moving into the booth to get on with the match. So one of the key points I think will be, at least for G2 here, is if they can get their economy off the ground here on the CT side mainly, how many AWPs are we going to see? Are we going to see a solo B AWP? Are we going to see mid AWP, mid and A AWP? There are so many options for them, and they have so many AWPers down.
The thing about this map is that it used to be very strong for GT, one of their best, and it's because you can't really deny the aim duels, which is of course something that they're very strong at. And it's one of the reasons why they love Train as well, because Train is this spot where you have chaos and you get all these aim battles, and it really suits G2. Okay, back in the days of Scream, that's what we're talking about. That was when they were best at their cash game because of these factors. Because you could get Scream, you could get him on the B-bomb site, and he could do so much with rifles just by himself. He was very, very good for the team in that sense. But to replace him, we've got JChem now. And JChem is actually a very, very good rifler, and he's been very consistent recently. And of course, we've been seeing good performances from him. So I don't even see it as a huge downgrade in any real sense. To be honest, it's an upgrade in other areas, as JChem is, worse in some spots and better in others. He's a great player overall. And so I feel like G2 actually have big advantage, a pretty decent advantage. For me, it's going to take a massive performance out of Nico again. Chris J is going to have to start hitting the shots with the AWP more consistently, and Nex has to find his game, because right now we haven't been seeing the big results from Nex that we expect. He's the star player of the team. Nico is there. He's also of the star level, but Nex was the first guy from mousesports that showed, and he showed himself to almost be the scariest player from Germany as well. So need a big game out of Nex.
Well, we've had two fairly close scores in the first two matches. We'll see if these teams have the endurance to go all the way through the third as well. I'm just waiting for Fox to reconnect to the server, and then I think this will be underway here. So everyone's had a chance for a quick break, chance to collect their thoughts and consider their approach for much more open map in cash. Again, going to have those long ranges. Good opportunities for some aggression for the CTs as well. Flanks over the boost. But of course, every risk comes with a reward for both sides.
Yeah, this to me is probably, it has the potential to be the most exciting map between these two teams. So I'm really, really geared up for this one. And well, when it comes to, we talked a little bit about player performances. Is there, well, I did at least, is there anyone that you think stands out for you, or something that you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing the battle of the AWPs, basically. Chris J versus more than half of G2. And the thing is, like, even if they don't go for multiple AWPs, G2, if they go for one AWP and they change it between plays, like we've seen, traditionally what we've seen online is Makalele's been a primary AWPer for G2 a lot of the time. We saw him AWPing on Dust 2, I think it was yesterday as well, but we've seen a lot of Fox AWPing today, and he's been very effective with it. So, if they change who's AWPing in a certain position mid-game, then it's a change of style as well, an approach between these individual AWPers, and that might be a problem. On the T side, I really hope to see Dennis picking up an AWP, because again, going back to the LGB days, he was insanely aggressive on this map with an AWP, always charging up the boost spot, just looking for those engagements. But again, versus Chris J, if he's got an AWP, then maybe he's not going to be that aggressive. We'll have to see. There's many dynamics to play through here.
Yeah, it's a really big AWP map indeed. I mean, with the Makalele point, I actually feel like I much prefer Fox on the AWP and then Dennis on the AWP, to then having Makalele on the AWP. Like in that order, for me, that's where I want to see the AWPs going in priority. Generally speaking, of course, spawns play into factor. What kind of round you want to play plays into the factor as well. Because Makalele is less consistent on hitting some of those key shots. Because the best AWPer is the guy that just hits all the shots. It's not the guy that takes the crazy risks and goes for the crazy flick shots and crazy plays. He's the consistent guy you can rely on in most situations. And I don't think they need, a super aggressive throwaway AWPer. And Fox has been showing he's been very consistent, and that's very key. And also he's been besting Chris J in a lot of these duels and outplaying him in the sense of AWPing power and strength. So it's nice to see that they've actually changed this role, because Fox, I don't think he's nearly as effective on a rifle as well.
Yeah, and also the fact that Fox has been one of the main AWPers in this match has allowed Makelele to still be alive in those late positions where he's clutched so many rounds and kept them in this match to begin with. So the change is working out for G2 at the moment. But again, they're down to the last map now, and now we're just waiting for the final mousesports players to connect and get this match underway. So G2 are going to be starting on the CT side. No knife rounds. mousesports going to be on the T side. So this should be, do you think this will be another close one?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it has to be, to make sense, because these two teams are so close. And when it comes to, I can't really find a huge difference. The only difference I can really see is maybe G2 have a bit more strength maybe when it comes to the AWPing potential. We just spoke of that, and I don't know how much that's going to factor in, because it depends on how the money goes on both sides, how the rounds will play out. But generally speaking, G2. They've got a lot of great power when it comes to the clutches and also the riflers, just as mousesports have. I really don't know how to separate these two teams in this series. I expect this to be very close indeed, and I hope that it will be, because so far it's been pretty exhilarating. Especially the first map, Mirage, was excellent to kick off the series. 19-16 victory, as you guys can see. Well, as what we can see. I'm staring at the game, James.
Yeah. Right. So. Again, one thing that's going to play a part in this as well is the executes and the variation of executes. We can expect to see walls of smoke coming into the mid area, which gives the T side an opportunity to either go for a B split or suggest a B split, pop the vent, but not commit to it. We've seen mousesports have nice plays, which has caused big rotations on the G2 side. That's a really weird camera shot. On the G2 side. But the question is, can they force those rotations on their T side? The countdown has begun. We're just over a minute to starting this game. But again, I would like to see if mousesports can cause those over rotations on the G2 side and punish them for it. We see tactics from Versus Pro, for example, where they'll have snacks lurking outside B halls, and they'll throw the Molotov into the vent, and then the CT will jump out back into B and get punished by snacks and killed for it. I would like to see that kind of thing happen from these two teams as well. So we'll see how meticulous their strategies are and who will come out on top. But again, it will come down to the duels ultimately. About 45 seconds away now, and the tension, I'm sure, will build as this match goes on.
Yeah, I mean, usually you would expect the strength of mousesports, or the advantage that they would have is in leadership, and having a very seasoned veteran, a 1.6 veteran in God B, previously of the mousesports fame. In 1.6, he's been around for a very long time, and he rules the mousesports camp with an iron fist, and he's very, very critical, and he's very, very serious, probably one of the most competitive people in this professional scene. And here we go, we're about to start things here on the cash between G2, Esports, and mousesports, and it is the decider to decide who will go through to the playoffs.
Well, here we go. Now let's see what the buy is going to be for these two teams. Again, Godby going straight for the grenades as per usual. Dennis and Nico picking up the Kevlar. G2, are they going to go for a kit? Yeah, Makelele's going to be the kit man. HE, the rest of the team going for the Kevlar. Chris J going to smoke off Z connector immediately from T-spawn and hold a flash for his teammates as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go straight for the test of middle, as they had smoked it off, as pointed out. And now Rainy can't really get much info for his team. Jacob's close though, and he's got a bit of crossfire situation, albeit a bit of an awkward one. He's going to get challenged. He's going to go right to the challenge with that USP. He gets a quick frag onto Chris J. This is working out amazingly well for G2. Rain is popping heads. There's just one player left in God B. He's stuck by the box in the vent room. Now he's tagged down. He gets backstabbed by Dennis, and that round was completely crushed by G2.
That is a fabulous start. Rain actually didn't take a single point of damage, which means he can upgrade to a helmet for a mere $350 there by now, because this deal won't last all week.
Very nice indeed. And we're going to see the SMGs out of G2. And this should be a slaughter, James. This is going to be a lot of... This will be a bloodbath. It looks like the bloodbath might ensue towards the B side of the map.
I love a good bloodbath, Dan. Just let me put on my shower cap first. So, Fox coming in with the P90, holding down things towards the B bomb site, where there are still two more players to engage. He's going to go for the reload, while Jakem will have a cursory look. He'll take a lot of damage, but he's still alive for now. Fox just strafing, almost skating left and right with that P90, getting another reload in. Gobi and Chris J remain. Bomb has been lost now for mousesports pretty much, and Fox will come in as the cleanup man, the street sweeper. Gonna finish off Gobi. So a good start here for G2.
Yeah, no one dying for G2 is always going to be very nice around like that. And
nice.
Of course, mousesports, they didn't invest very heavily, which is quite cool actually, because usually you would see a bit more of an investment. It's a very light investment here as well, which is quite surprising considering that. I mean, I figured you'd either go one way or the other, like just go for the force buy and then save this round instead of spreading out the buy a little bit. But I guess this way you invest just a tiny bit less and have a little bit more in the way of grenades on the following rounds.
Well, 2 smokes, 2 flashes. What is the play here from the T side? Heading towards the A bomb site. That pop flash is going to come in. Going to get 2 of the 3 players. One hiding behind the box. Want to get flashed, but they can't punish it, can mousesports. The squeaky door has been opened as well. And G2 are well positioned to punish this. Of course, mousesports are lacking in inventory right now. Going to choose to close the door, either T's, and make their escape elsewhere.
That's a weird choice, isn't it, to close the door as the T's?
It's polite, that. It's polite.
I suppose it is. It's a battle of politeness as well as deadliness. We do have, of course, the mousesports gearing up for a bit of a mid-pressure, but Jakem is ahead of the curve there, going all the way for the flank, and he's going to find 2 kills with that P90. He's going to reveal the play, and if mousesports had any kind of a plan, it is now completely blown asunder by this aggression of Jakem, and that's going to be that 3-0 is the score, and 4 players survive for G2. At this point, they've only lost, well, Jakem twice. Jakem's the only guy that's died on the team, and he's died twice. So no economic damage done. G2 in prime position here to have such a really nice start economically. We might see all the ops that you're after, James.
Indeed. It's going to start, of course, with Fox. Now the question is, where is Fox going to play? I think he's headed towards the B bomb site. Indeed he is. There are 2 Ts in that direction as well. He's going to have support as he gets into position, and he's going to boost his teammate up into the vents. He's going to reposition. Meanwhile, Makalele has taken a lot of damage, gone for a bit of a squeaky push, and it's going to be Dennis to go down first. What a nice angle held by Nico. So Dennis has left the building, and Makalele is on 1 solitary piece of health. Not a good start here from G2 on mousesports' buy round.
No, this is really awful, to be honest. Michael is going to feel absolutely useless with that 1 HP, and hey, Fox will actually pick up a kill there. And Jakem gets one towards the fence. That is a massive turnaround there for G2. Now, Nico gets peeked aggressively by Rain, despite having an advantage. Rain's still going to take the risk, and he's going to be rewarded for that. And now it's a 2 versus 4 situation. Chris J on the scout there, moving in. Oh, great shot. Just 1 bullet required. Michael, of course, very low on HP. And this might be a way to just create something out of this round, which looked disastrous otherwise for mousesports. Bit of a pop flash play, and mousesports find themselves in towards this B bomb site, but only Chris J has survived, and he's got the scout and the 3 CTs on his position.
Oh, he's gone for the fake. He's looking to even up the numbers before. He wanted to win that round. He could have gone for the plant, guaranteed a bit of extra money for his team, but he wanted to go all the way there. Wanted to try and bait his CT to come out, try and stop them from getting the money, and indeed he did that, but there were 2 more to find. Couldn't find the second headshot there, and he will go down with no plant after all. 4 rounds to 0 here for G2. Look at these angles on that spray from Nico. Very nice stuff.
Yeah, this is such a good start. It's just amazing to get all this money on the CT side. Feels really good. And mousesports, of course, are going to go down 5-0 very likely, unless they make something of this kind of quasi by just spending all the money down to around 2K, because that loss bonus is going to max out if they lose this round. And they can assault this A bomb site and find themselves on a quick plant. And that is the setup that they're going with. And it's a counter smoke coming in from the CTs. And here it is. Michael, he'll spot the push coming in. All the nades soaring through the sky into the A bomb site as Ray makes his position known by forklift. But there's so many nades all over the place here. Gobi will find actually an opening onto Rain. And Dennis has actually got some help with him. But this bomb site is actually claimed by the T's here. But the CTs are knocking on the door. And they're about to kick the door down. Excellent spray from Dennis. 2 versus 2 though.
Gobi holding the forklift position. Dennis coming in from short. He's not going to get the frag onto Makalele, leaving him with 5 HP. But Gobi, he's got the P215. He could do this. Makalele only with 5 HP. Dennis with 40. If Gobi finds the head, oh, they're going to double peek, and he will get taken down. A lot of damage done, though, by mousesports on the force buy. Again, they don't get the plant. And regardless of the damage, it's 5-0 to G2. A great CT start from them.
Yeah, so that 5-0 is going to just enable them to really put that pressure on mousesports, because if they can get to around 8 to 10 rounds, and they're pretty close to that at this point, then of course they're going to be incredibly satisfied with that CT start. And mousesports know that they're going to have insane amounts of work to do. ChrisJ's picked up the AWP though, so this is where we can start to see a change of pace, a change of play from mousesports. And they do have that pick base set up here. They've got a player towards door, they've got some guys towards B storage, but Fox is really good at hitting shots here. He almost never misses from B storage.
Yeah, saw the initial setup in mid here from the CTs. That first Molotov glitched out and didn't do anything, so they had to deploy their second one faster than they may have wanted to. Either way, they've got good control for the time being, and that's the Molotov I was talking about coming into the vents. And Jacob knows that he's going to have T's waiting to punish him for it. Tries to flash his way out, but he's going to fail the flash. Fails the nade as well. Going to nade Fox down. Didn't do too much damage though. But there we go. Fox is going to take down Dennis. That will do a job. Jake has 2 more people to contend with. Through the smoke, he will take down next. So working out for G2 despite a bit of calamity there.
I think Fox is making a good case to be the juggernaut there. Takes a nade to the face, but still hits the shot. And Dennis gets boosted up into the vents. This is excellent here. Then no one dies for G2. They are put under so much pressure there. That was such a good push. mousesports did everything right there, but somehow they weren't able to hit the shots. And it just came down to that composure. Just JChem is back us against the wall, and it really shows you the class of this player. Like JChem came in as a new guy. This is the team where he can really prove himself. This is the biggest kind of podium he's ever stood up on, and this is the best lineup he's ever been with, essentially. And he's really showing that he is part of the core team.
The fact that nobody died for G2 in that round is insane. Before the match started, we spoke about the thing that you often see Virtus Pro do, the Molotov coming into the vent, forcing the CT out of the position, punishing him before rotating. Obviously, Jake, knowing that, keeps himself close to the wall, manages to nade his teammate, failed a flashbang as well. But regardless, they survive with all the players intact. That is absolutely bananas. And that kind of thing has to be so frustrating for mousesports. It's 6-0 already. G2 are going to have the economy going in their direction. The average is probably looking like about 6,000 with the exception of Jake on 3. But everything's going G2's way at the moment. mousesports sitting on an average of about 3,000 or so. So again, this is a must-win round for them. I mean, a must-win map. There's nothing else left after this. It all comes down to this map. 6-0 down already. You know, the T side is less favored, but they are building too good an advantage, the CT side, both in rounds and economy.
Yeah, I mean, that round was pretty insane, and we didn't even really get to see, because they did the right things right. They smoked off Fox, they threw in the Molotovs, as you mentioned, you described the situation. But what I'm going to see here is Fox AWPing like an absolute beast from that position. He's one of the most consistent AWPers from the vent room, and it's one of the reasons why G2 has such a strength on this map, is because they have players with such consistency as Fox does with that AWP. And for him to have the AWP so quickly, because their economy is booming in the way that it is, and for him to basically be able to rebuy almost immediately if they actually lose a round, that just puts G2 in such an advantageous position. And mousesports, of course, this could just get worse and worse. You get less and less opportunities as the CT side just grinds more and more rounds out. And well, I don't know. It's a question how mousesports going to get back in this. There's a lot of stuff they haven't tried. We haven't seen a real execute on A yet with weapons. They haven't had many chances to buy weapons, James, so that's probably why.
The good thing is as well that G2 are managing their economy well at the moment. You know, if you look at the flip side team, when they used to have Wild and Simple, they would try and get the two AWPs as often as possible, and but that is very frail on their economy and can cause them to lose matches. G2 just going to continue with the one for now. Again, they did survive with 5 players on this particular round. They did have 1 or 2 full in previous. So 6-0. Can mousesports do anything about this? They've gone for a half buy here. They've got Kevlar, helmets, Tech9. Looking to go for a fast play to punish the AWP here, but Jake's in for support, getting flashed, not gone down yet. He's got support from the vents as well. He will get taken down, but trades coming in for both players. Nades coming in, Molotovs, HG to try and slow down this T push.
Yeah, this is where Fox can shine. Although Dennis is actually in, but Fox is isolated by the smoke there onto CT. Only 2 players though for mousesports, so the man advantage for G2, and mousesports will opt to boost out Nico into the vents. But look at the cognizance from Michael. He looks for the play, but Nico annihilates him, and now he's making his way up short to try to cause a distraction right now, and we'll see the rotation of the bomb all the way around. Nico's got to get it done though. He needs to survive. He can't let the bomber be exposed, and that's what's going to happen right now. Godby, where does he go? What does he do? He's got just a Tech 9 and the C4 strapped to his back. And there is a player for G2 on either side. There he goes, up onto the short area. He's been spotted now. So this is an excellent play by G2. They're playing this so safe at the moment. Dennis, though, here he is. First engagement. Oh, got B finds the shot somehow. Dennis is down, and now there is some space and time to plant the bomb. Godby now awaits Fox with that AWP. Will he actually be able to swap out that weapon, or will he go forward? He's going in right now with that AWP, and Godby's waiting for it, but oh, Fox finds it with the pistol, and he's going to clutch the round for G2. What an important moment for mousesports, falling in the hands of Godby, unfortunately, and Fox with the save yet again.
See that laugh from him, almost looking like a tyrant there. Dominating mousesports is Fox and the rest of the G2 side, 7-0. And again, they're managing their money well, only buying the solitary AWP. Fox will continue his reign of terror towards the B-bomb sites.
Now, with this 7-0 scoreline, the pressure starts to mount more and more, but mousesports still have time. They still have time to turn it around, and they're going to go for the double AWP play to do so. And we see that Dennis will actually smoke off Fox straight away on B and see if they can try to get some wiggle room here, try to get some map control. But Fox is peeking into the off angle. He hits the shot. Oh my goodness, Fox is just knocking the daylights out of them.
Can't imagine how many Fox threads there are on HLTV right now. So we've got 3 mousesports players in towards T Warehouse with one in the spooky area. So it seems that it might be a bit of an attempt towards A. Chris J being boosted up, but there's nobody to engage in the mid area for now. Dennis is playing the mid to A rotate towards the white box area. Again, Nicky going for the spray down. This time he'll be on the wrong end of it. Rain gonna punish him for that one. So 5 versus 3. You can see Makalele's boosted up as well. Got the M4A4, so they might recognize his position when he starts firing, but will they recognize fast enough? Got the smokes coming in towards the car area. Flash is coming in. Makalele's blind as well. Will they take the spot? 2-man spray down to Makalele. The bomb goes down as well. 4 versus 1. How much damage can Chris J do? He picked up the bomb, but that's going to be that. Dennis coming in to trade. Another round on the board for G2.
This is so good right now from G2. They're showing really awesome tactical, strategic awareness, and they're hitting their shots. You know, that kill from Fox, that is just the perfect round to push. Again, they've got such a lead on the score, such a lead on the money, that they can decide to take risks like this. He went forward with the off angle when mousesports are saying, okay, we want to try to go for a counterplay, we want to try to abuse those players towards the vent room. We're going to try to, you know, go throw the smoke and get an angle. Boom, Fox is already in your face in a spot you never expected because you're trying to adjust to something and he's one step ahead. He's already there. What a smart guy.
Another pause coming in from mousesports. Now you're starting to see some concern, some worry. 8-0 down on the final map of your best of 3. Not an ideal situation by any measure. G2 looking pretty chilled out at the moment. Been more or less relaxed, even when Makalele was, again, going back to that first map, just clutching round after round for his team, keeping them in that map. Just super chilled out. Been here before, stood the test of time. Pretty relaxed, but mousesports, I mean, this is looking like a mountain to climb now.
Yeah, I think Makalele is one of those guys who's just like incredibly confident. He just has so much confidence and exuberance in that sense, and it's really good to see, because having players like that it can really lift the team, because it's an undying level of confidence. It doesn't matter what happens. The confidence will be there. There are some stuff, you know, he sometimes, you know, he can get tilted, and of course if there's a spot where he can get tilted for whatever reason, then that's really bad for the team. But equally, on the other end of the spectrum, if he is feeling great, I think that can really lift the team. And so far, things have been going so amazingly well for G2, and it feels like success is only going to breed more success, and we're still looking for an answer from mousesports. How do they turn this one around at this point? They've tried a lot of stuff. There's still stuff they haven't done. They haven't done a wall of smokes into B split, try to pressure mid and take mid. We haven't seen much of that. We haven't seen much of the weapons just going in for the AXQs. So what's it going to be? We're resuming. There's been the pause. What is the answer from mousesports?
The worst problem for mousesports is they've been, you know, in some cases they've been making the right plays, but they just haven't been working out. Does that mean they start to second guess themselves? Only time will tell. So Makalele's gone for the push through the smoke in A main, where you can jump on the boxes above, take people by surprise. He's got no one to re-smoke A main for him, however, so he will have to eventually change his position.
Yeah, it's a slow approach, and Michael Elliott is actually hanging out in the main still, so he gets the information. And wow, Dennis with that off angle. Again, another aggressive risk coming in from G2. Once again, just abusing the fact that they're so far ahead and it's so damaging. mousesports down a man. They can't mess around now. They have to try to take some map control. They're going for that kind of a play by boosting a man up into mid. There's the pop flash from Dennis into mid for any close CTs who could maybe mess Gob up as he moves in over the top of the boost. Dennis will spot it. How safe is he going to play, or is Dennis going to take some risks as well? Nico takes down Michael Elliott. Dennis is looking to try to get a trade, and Nico is just taking them for a ride. Dennis with the spray down, though, could make the difference. We're into a 2-on-2, and this could really go either way.
Dennis only knows aggression, and now he's looking to bring it towards the A bomb site, where it seems that the bomb is indeed going to be planted behind the smoke by Nico. Gonna reveal his position with that Molotov. Question is, where is Chris J? The nade gonna finish off Nico. Will Dennis go straight for the defuse here? He's gonna make his way through the smoke, however. He's looking for the bomb, but it's lost in the smoke at the moment. Where is Chris J? This is a bit of a mess here. He's going to find his frag onto Fox. Dennis is still searching for the bomb. He just cannot find the bomb here. Chris is on the wrong side of the smoke, and Dennis is the one making all the noise now. Time is ticking, and this could be mousesports making their first round on the board here. Indeed, it will be. Chris J finally getting a round on the board for his team, and Dennis, he just could not find the bomb in that smoke.
That's ridiculous, actually. That's quite funny. It's rare that you see a round won in that fashion, because Chris J should never have won that round. I was looking at that and like, oh my god, the bomb is it's completely just obscured from his vision. There's no way that he's ever going to stop a hold there on the defuse if they can find the bomb, though. It's not usually an issue, but it was a very weird plant spot. It's one they just did not expect, and you can see that the replay here, all the trades going backwards and forwards, and that was a really important nade there. Either way, into the next round we go, and Fox is looking to try to get some more damage from the open. Oh my goodness, he goes in forwards into B storage. He spots a lot of players, somehow escapes without receiving any damage, but J-Chem is left, lying in wait. He's going to find the first frag, more to follow. J-Chem with a triple. Is there going to be any more? He gets time to go for the reload, and J-Chem's not stopping. Quad kill comes in. Chris J, the only man to try to stop it, but it could be too late. He will take down Fox as well, but the CTs are all over him, but that bomb is lost at this point, and Chris J, he gets another frag. This is absolutely ridiculous now. Two more players from G2. They know they have the bomb. They're going to make sure they don't misplay this at this point. Chris J looking for that clutch, looking for that ace. There's plenty of time to try and find it, but if they just sit tight, they should be more than fine against Chris J here.
The CT economy has been wrecked, but can Chris J finish off the job? That was a great double wallbang on terrain. He's got two more to find. Locations unknown. One is close, one's in the vent. He can get himself a 1v1 here. Could use a focus try not to get traded. The double peek. The timing on that is absolutely insane. G2 straight back to winning ways.
The timing there was amazing. I don't think you can make it more perfect than that. I don't think it gets more perfect than that. That is beautiful coordination from them.
Jay got so many frags from this position.
Wow.
Unbelievable. 4-man for him. Just gets the last one in time, and then look at this wallbang from Chris. Oh, straight into the chest. mousesports though, 9-1 on a Glock Eco with a solitary P250.
God. Reset, James. They got reset.
Yeah.
All because J-Chem by that box. That really sucks for mousesports. There's no doubt about it.
J-Chem says no. The new man for G2, showing why they picked him up in the first place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in comes the push here. The Hail Mary with these Glocks, but they're lining up for Rain here. He's going to pull out the USP. He does get taken down, though, and 3-on-3 is going to occur here. There's more trades come into play. I have no idea how they're doing so much damage, but once again, J-Chem's in. Fox is in from B. This Fox and J-Chem, the B hit squad, they don't seem like they can be toppled.
10-1. The last two rounds were so close. The two maps, sorry. mousesports, they can't go into the second half of one round. They need space to breathe. They need room. And they're going to go for the force here. Scout, AK, 3 Tech 9s, and 4 smoke grenades. Going to be spread out across the map initially. Got 2 players in mid for the CT side. Dennis, surprise, surprise, playing quite aggressively. Going to be taking control of mid, almost on his lonesome. The re-smoke coming in. What will he choose to do? Playing under the boost at the moment. But what is the play from mousesports? An AK and a scout
it's
to try and open this up.
It's a little bit awkward, isn't it? It's going to be quite tough to try to break his side, but with that push coming in, they could actually meet it. And Fox, he's moved that position and he's going to find the kill. They never would have expected him to be there. What on earth is Fox doing in this position? They take more liberties, do G2. And now mousesports again shut down before a plan can be initiated, but next he will create some space for mousesports.
Fox has truly been unleashed. This is scary. Just marching through A main on his own, getting himself 2 frags with a player at the back of A, should he be required. But he won't be required just yet. Dennis has gone down, but that's it. mousesports have picked up an M4 now, so they've got 2 rifles and the Tech 9 onto Dennis. Jake's position could be Molotov if mousesports had enough utility, but they don't. They have to make do with what they can. The bomb's gone down. Dennis has been, he will trade Jacob, but the bomb needs to make its way onto the site now. Rain's in a strong position, and they're looking for him. Dennis holding the angle. Dennis finding the frag. 2 versus 2 now. G2 close to the site, and mousesports have to go for the plant here.
There's only 10 seconds left, but the plant will go down, and Fox is going to just look in, peer in with that AWP. He's going to find one player, casually takes him down to a lot of, doing a lot of damage to that pistol, and Michael will get the finish in. The trade is good, but there's one player left, and Next will clutch it. Finally, another round for mousesports. Finally, Next is going to get himself a series of kills to pull mousesports out of that pit of despair. But how far will this go? They need to get every single remaining round. Every single one. That 10-5, there can be no other result now for mousesports for them to feel. Otherwise, they'll just feel incredibly uncomfortable going into the next half. And the pistol round could just end them.
And G2 have gone for the force here. Fox will continue with the AWP. Again, allowed to excel, doing what he's best at. And it has been pretty brutal for the mousesports side. Can G2 reset mousesports once again? This time the aggression will continue over towards the B-bomb site, but Chris is waiting. Who is going to peek the deep angle first, if at all? You can see Fox just creeping. They're getting a bit close, but they're both AWPers. They will know what is possible on either side of those scopes.
Yeah, just teasing at the moment. Now, we've seen Fox get kills from that position before, but how committed is he going to be to going further now? It is quite unlikely that Chris J will still be in that position at this late into the round. I love the slow pace from mousesports, but it's yet to actually help them out. Now, there it is. There we go. That patience finally yields the reward they're looking for. 2 frags, and they go for that mid-contact play, and it is going to be sweet for mousesports. A 5 versus 3 now.
Yeah, not much to be done here for G2. They've got the 1 rifle onto Jacob, but we saw him get a 4-man in the previous round. Problem is, 2 of the G2 players are over towards A. It's going to be a very long rotation. Only Rain towards B with a P250. Rotation starting to come in for the CTs as mousesports continue their march onto the site. Rain taking pot shots. Trying to get a bit of damage done. A lot of damage done to God B, but it's 5 versus 3 here. And G2 have a decision to make. They've got 3 players with armor. God B's going to get finished off with the HE. But will G2 go, will they just continue with this once the bomb goes down? Rain trying to do what he can, but that's not much. He's going to get taken down by Nico. So it's an M4 onto Jake and Makalele with a C-Des, and they are starting to make their exit. Yeah,
so it's pretty nice to see that mousesports are able to do so much in this round, because of course, you know, G2 didn't actually have much money left, and it's a testament to how close mousesports have been getting despite not closing. And it's very important as well that mousesports were able to get the consecutive round. Otherwise, they would be in a position where they could get reset on the economy, and then basically it would be over. It would just be, they would just be completely done for. So this is a good round to see from them, and they will survive with 4 players as 2, which is a good sign for their economy. And moving forward, so they should be confident. But G2, what are we looking at for them?
Average of $2,000 basically.
So it's going to be the save for G2 then. So mousesports should be able to get themselves another round on the board at the very least.
Well, they've called a pause here, which makes me wonder, are they thinking about potentially forcing here and risking either winning 2 rounds or losing 2 rounds, or playing safe and trying to win the last round?
It's quite an interesting question, actually, because they will, if they lose this round, they have $2,400 in the bonus, which means that they can actually have like a somewhat decent force buy with you know, Kevlar, a pistol and nade or 2, or even, you know, a scout or something, whatever they want. There is a possibility there. So it is quite an interesting question. I think I would, you know, err on just going for just saving for the buy, to be honest, though, because that's been working so consistently for G2 overall.
Is there a psychological angle to consider, though? I'm sure they can't see the frustration of mousesports in certain times like we can with the cameras. I wonder if that has a part to play in the decision-making here. So, still some conversation going on within the booths. We should be back into the match soon. Only 2 rounds remaining now. So not much conversation in the mouse side of things. But some happier faces than we saw earlier on when they only had one round. Maybe some of these signs giving them a laugh outside. So on the mousesports side, we have 4 AKs and the AWP. Got the Molotovs coming out as well. The G2 side yet to buy anything. Indeed. Maybe this could actually be a pause just to try and break any momentum of mousesports as well. I don't know if there's some conversation going on in the other half of the booth. Would presume so, with Dennis starting to talk now.
Yeah, one thing that's been so awesome to watch from G2 is the fact that the way that they've, again, been using Fox, of course, with the aggressions, because he's been the timing of the aggression is so key, because they managed to just get under the skin of mousesports every single time they're about to do something different. Fox comes out of the woodwork from this unknown location with an AWP and shuts you down, and then all of a sudden any plan you had it all goes into turmoil, and the advantage is found by the opposition. So it seems like it is actually a technical issue instead of a tactical pause, which does make a lot more sense, I would say, generally speaking, and so hopefully that can get resolved very quickly, so we can get underway and finish this one off and find out who's going to be the victor here, because there's definitely space for mousesports if they get, if they actually manage to carry it through to the 5 rounds and get that pistol, then it's just game on. It is fully game on from that period forward. So,
hey, shout outs to the Kobe sign. Respect to you, sir. That's a League of Legends hat, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about League.
Me neither.
Who do you think I am?
Don't know. Can you drink those cans of Monster on the stage? Or are they just there for display?
Oh, you have to say commercials. It was commercials.
What?
That's what Ali said. Are you doing the Ali thing, right?
I was trying to. Did I fail that?
Yeah, you did. He would be really disappointed, I think.
God damn it.
Oh well, there is always time for redemption here at the Major. There's still a couple days left to play, so there's so many awesome matches. And we've got 2 more best of 3s coming up today as well after this one to decide who's going to make it through the groups. But already looks like TSM are having a good time of it. That said, when we've seen the bracket drawn, looks like their path is definitely going to be a little bit easier than some others to that finals.
Yep, much more Counter-Strike to come your way today, tomorrow, and of course on Sunday. Just getting some info from production. All right, so they are working on something at the moment, and hopefully it will be resolved. Maybe they're opening boxes, Dan.
Just opening pins.
Maybe they're opening pins. Maybe
Pins
they are.
boxes.
So we can see, let's see, 4,017 drops have been made in this match so far.
But not me, James, because I'm here. Is it a hard choice between coming to do some commentary and staying at home, opening up 20 accounts and joining the streams and getting the drops?
I'm done with all that.
But James, this would be perfect for you. There's like cobblestone for days. You could finally have gotten the Dragon Lore.
I know, but I just bought one. I gave up. It will ultimately end up cheaper for me to just buy a Dragon Lore than I was buying a lot of boxes is the problem. The cobblestone souvenir boxes.
I bet now it's gone down in value, the Dragon Lore that you bought. So if you'd waited, James, you'd have waited. Because there's been so many cobblestones that surely the value must have gone down. There must have been some new Dragon Lores out there.
I am very curious actually to the average price of a cobblestone box on the market right now. But maybe I'll have a look after the evening's proceedings. So again, we're just waiting for this issue to be resolved there. And I wonder if this favors one of the teams, because obviously mousesports, finally broken G2. There are only 2 rounds remaining in this half, but maybe they'll be a bit colder once this resumes. What a nice stage.
I mean, I think G2 are just like, well, guys, we've got 10 rounds already. I feel like they're just in this position where they've got 10 rounds. They have a really weird situation on the money. They're probably gonna save, I would imagine. Or because I don't think Jacob can't even drop a FAMAS. He doesn't have quite enough money to do that, and he's the only guy that saved a weapon. Although Michael has some armor already, so I don't know. I think it's unlikely, but hey, maybe we'll see it. I don't think it matters too much for G2. I think they're feeling amazing at the moment, and I don't think anything will change that. mousesports, on the other hand, it's got to feel so incredibly just awkward and just pressured this situation for them, because they understand that, and if they don't get more than 3 rounds, then losing the pistol can just cost them the tournament, basically. That's what that means. So getting 4 or 5 rounds basically is that difference. So that one more round is incredibly important. They should win it, sure, because they got a great advantage now on the weapons, but definitely it's going to be a test. But you have to go through these tests, James. If you want to be a championship team, if you want to be a championship player, you need the mindset of a champion, and that is to come from these horrible deficits, but still find a way back.
This is a good map for CTs on, you know, when they've got the 5-7s out, there are some very dangerous positions, and it's a testament to the T sides with their Molotovs, who are able to execute them correctly on the site, specifically A, because we've seen, especially with North American Counter-Strike, for example, that they position the default bomb spot, plant spot, sorry, on the A sites. If you stand there with a 5-7, you can annihilate T sites pushing in if they don't execute Molotovs onto the site properly, so there's basically nowhere to hide. Always a beautiful thing when we see those come through. There are some Molotovs on the mousesports side, so should G2 opt for a force buy, or even if they don't, I hope that we will see such an execute coming out from the mousesports side.
Do you have a favorite position that you play, CT-sided? Train?
Cash. I like to AWP from the car position. I'd say that's the. I like to go well. I don't like to go mid per se, but often.
James, what is your position?
Often the people I play cash with don't know how to play mid properly, so I often end up going towards mid.
Actually, I usually go to mid as well. So we should never play together.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go to a short break while this issue is resolved. Hopefully, we shall return very shortly. So go and raid the fridge, open the biscuits. We will see you back here soon. Hello, people of Romania, people around the world. Seems we are ready to resume the match here again. We have 2 rounds remaining in the first half here. A solid 10-3 lead for G2, but it's mousesports currently leading on the economic side of things. Dan, say something intelligent.
Well,
you failed, Dan. So we'll see if the G2 buy comes out. Are they going to go for the Force, or are they going to go for the Eco? Here, there is a decision to be made. Do they basically sack 1 round and try to win the last, or do they try to win both with the Force buy? That is the gamble. Deal or no deal. No time to phone a friend here. Phones have been taken by Valve, Dan.
Why would they do this? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, maybe they want to see who has the best score on Candy Crush, but it's probably Anders, because he is a bit of an expert in that game.
He is actually, yeah. That surprised me, but he is max level in that game. But yeah, this situation, just for the recap here, G2, if you're just joining us, G2, of course, managed to have an amazing CT side so far, just because of the fact that they had that pistol victory. It was very awesome. They're defending the B play that came in very handily. I don't think they even lost a player, maybe 1 at most. And then they just got ahead of every play that mousesports make. They seem to be in the heads of the Germans. But for how long can this continue? mousesports now, they don't get many more chances to save themselves in this series, but this is the big one here now. Oh, yeah, the 3-man squeaky push coming in, but NiKo's there in position. He's going to find all players, but 2 for 1. That's actually pretty decent here for mousesports, because considering that they know where the players are for G2 more or less, and they'll get themselves into the A bomb site without further issue. And there's Godby as well, going to find the ranges with Fox. He's trying to toy with that car, but it's not going to work out, as we'll have just Michael left. And this is one of the games where Michael has been a little bit more quiet. Doesn't really matter if they've been getting rounds so convincingly, though.
Indeed. Fox, he's not top fragging, but he's had a lot of important frags for his team, the impact frags. Jacob and Dennis tied on 16 kills at the moment. mousesports getting their second last round, though. They've got a good opportunity to take a 10-5, which they might be pleased with. Again, they had 1 round for so long, it was looking a bit brutal, but starting to catch up now. The M4's coming out for G2. No AWP for Mouse to fear on this occasion. No kits on the CT side.
Yeah, we got Chris J who's moving in. He's often been bested actually by Fox there, but have to hold our horses here because Nex is going to make his way quickly in for that mid take, but Dennis finds 2 quick kills there, locking it down, and Nex is going in. He's going to drop in from above. Dennis is going to get annihilated there. Good stuff from Nex to get the trade, and that's the 3 versus 3 situation now. mousesports, there's so much time to use. Godby, he could really turn this round into something special here to get that 5.
So the remaining 3 CTs are spread out. Got to be no trade kills coming their way anytime soon. Fox taking quite a bit of damage here. Nade sailing in, but he will reconsider his position, and it looks like we're going to have a full rotation from the CTs towards the B bomb site, but will it get there in time? Jake is on the site. Fox is watching CT. But he's about to be smoked off, pushing through the smoke as Fox, looking to get some more important kills for his team. Crouching by the headshot area, escaping the flame just in time. Makalele coming in to take down Chris J, and G2 will find a way to take the last round of the first half, 11-4.
They just destroyed them. Amazing stuff from G2 again. And that fast mid-take, that's a complete change of pace. mousesports haven't thrown a play at G-Sports like that yet. They put so much more emphasis towards the kind of outer sides of the map, towards A and B, that you could even actually imagine that G2 would have prioritized away from middle, so that should work out really well. But in this case, didn't really work out for them, as we had all those trades, and even though it went through 3 versus 3 and with loads of time left, which usually favors the terrorists massively, G2 just able to hit the shots. And this has happened. This has been a trend throughout the entire series. These guys seem to be a little bit more clutch, just a little bit, and a little bit more on point on some of these shots. And well, it's going to have to take something pretty amazing from mousesports moving into the second half. It all starts with the pistol, of course, but that good economy, that start, is so crucial. And I mean, there is, of course, always the option to lose the pistol round, James, and then win the Force afterwards if you're envious. But it doesn't really apply for other people.
For human beings, Dan.
For human beings, yeah.
G2 with 8 rounds in a row at the beginning of that half, including the pistol. if they take the pistol here, mousesports are up the creek, Dan, with no paddle in sight. Paddle has been lost in the ether. 40 seconds before we get into the second half. Now, what is the play from mousesports? We often see the CT side playing an A retake with larger numbers towards B. Now, often when the CT sides play the retake, you have one player spotting A from the car position. The problem with the car position is you can't hear the squeaky door open from that position. So if G2 choose to play against that kind of play, which is reasonably common, then they can just barrel into the A site through the squeaky door, and then they're going to have a lot of numbers on the site for mousesports to go for the retake. Who knows? Time will tell. The thing in the mousesports advantage is they will have the superior stock pistols with better ranges. So it's time to get into it. Let's look at the buy from both teams. G2 going triple Kevlar. Makalele and Rain yet to buy. It's going to be quad Kevlar. Rain's going to be the nade man on the T side here on Cash. And it's going to be quad Kevlar for mousesports as well.
Yeah, Rain leading the squadron as well of G2 players, and it looks like it's going to be a B round. Could be pretty fast as well. Chris J is going to be in that pivotal position here for mousesports. He's going to spot all these players in, and look at it. There it is. First frag going to Chris J. He's putting stuff into a corner though, and they know that he's there, but they get flashed, and that buys him some time. And his teammates gets the second snap. Dennis goes down, so does Rain, and Chris J is doing so much damage, shutting this down, slapping down all these G2 players, but still 2 remain. However, in this time that Chris J's held on, Nex and Dennis are in key positions to stop the approach onto the B bomb site. Where on earth did G2 go?
Only Fox remains. Nico's in the vent as well, so there's a bit of a crossfire coming in for the CCs, and it's gone well for them. They started the round with a 2-man push into A main straight away, got the information, got back to B in time. It was a slow push from G2 and it didn't work out for them. mousesports with an important pistol round in the second half here, but still they have a 6-round deficit as G2 go for the force buy.
Yeah, the force buy, but it doesn't have any nades with it, which is a little bit of an issue because those big rangers are going to be available to the CTs for the defense, which is obviously favorable for them. And you can see Nico, he's playing really far back here, but here it is, Godby trying to get himself close in on middle so that mousesports have a good sense of what's going on before this push comes in.
Indeed, Max Rangers coming in towards the A site. Again, there was a cursory look towards the squeaky door. Although the push may have been fruitful, we'll come back to that later. Godby trying to go for the spray down with the MP9. Can't find the connections yet. Does have support. Godby's indeed gone down, but that gun won't be retrievable anytime soon for G2. Does the push continue? Next is in the vent, so there's a good angle for him to punish the T's, though, are moving away.
This is very interesting right now. The mid-round calling coming in for G2 to see if they can try to get the better of this one-man advantage that they've created for themselves. Maybe finding a bit of a risky play from mousesports and punishing, but there it is, a bit of a tag onto Next. So G2 looking quite fantastic as we see mousesports slowly moving towards that B rotation. They've got players that can respond very quickly from middle. And still though, mousesports are wondering, where is this push coming from and when is it going to appear? Maybe doubt has been set into the minds of mousesports, but here it is. The push will finally reveal itself into the B bomb site. Next will take down the first player, but the trades are coming in. Much the better for G2. 4 versus 2 in this situation as Nico and Dennis need to find something with their rifles as they go into this bomb site, and they're going to be faced with multiple players at once, and it will not happen. mousesports cannot retake, and G2 make it work off the force buy. What a disaster here for the German side.
That is a nuclear disaster for G2. Radiation, sorry, for mousesports, radiation all over their economy as well. Things are a complete mess. That is so bad. G2 only 4 rounds away from taking the entire match. mousesports with a 7-round deficit, and they're going to go for the force buy as well. If you're a mousesports fan, you have to be really, really worried now. We've got the Deagles coming out, especially on Nico. We know what he's capable of. There's a bit of a push coming in from 3 men towards B bomb site. Fox, can he survive? Can he hold on to this AK? No, he's going to get taken down by Chris J. Our thing's going to speed up. Makalele and Rain coming in to wipe out mousesports very quickly. Only 2 players remaining now for mousesports.
And Nex and Nico, though, no less, with those Deagles. One will be spotted in Nico by the toxic barrels of A, and JChem is just trying to use that range to his advantage, but the Eagle is a little bit scary, and JChem can afford to wait for his teammates to go in here, and there it is. Nico is going to go down to Rain in middle, so now this should be a 1 round from G2, as Nex is just all by the lonesome on the B bomb site, very far away from the bomb and the T assailants. So mousesports, they're going to go down 13-5. This is very scary indeed. And G2, they've got so much momentum in every sense.
You have to wonder if the willpower of the mousesports side is going to start to wilt now if they lose this round next. With 14 HP, does he choose to save his armor, or does he try to go for the best play of his entire life? Seems he's going to hold this angle for now. So we're looking at 13-5 here, and the mousesports economy is non-existent. Chris J's got $1,200, which means he's probably saving for an AWP, which means that he won't get that until G2 probably have 14 rounds here. So mousesports with it all to do. The pressure has maybe never been so high for them.
Absolutely. This is such an important match for that playoff spot to become a legend. And G2, they are looking like legends in the makings. They're showing all the good qualities here. They have made such amazing leaps and bounds with their new lineup. I'm really impressed by them in this tournament. I never expected them to do so well as they have been doing. As a team, as individuals, we're seeing new stuff out of G2. They've found something that works, and they are powering it through, hopefully for them, to the playoffs. And now mousesports are going to be on that eco, as you said. They're likely going down to G2, to that 14-round situation, where basically they don't get any more chances in this one, as this eco is being cleaned up slowly but surely by G2. Just using the grenades, playing it as a team, although they are quite spread out, that said.
Indeed, Dennis maybe trying to play on the spawn, trying to get fast into B, managing to escape. That's mousesports, Dennis, managing to get back towards the vent without getting taken down. So G2, they need to make sure they don't spend too much time without any frags here, because if they go for a late aggression, that was a bit scary there for Fox, just facing with a grenade in his hand, no one covering the angle. But there we go, still no kills yet for the side. G2 finally, the double dink coming in with the USP. There's one player down, Dennis soon to follow as well. Now things getting tricky here for G2, but Rain once again, the talisman, the reliable man, gonna come in and clean things up. Makaleli and Jacob gonna get frags as well. You can see a bit of frustration there on Fox, but it's 14-5. They are on the cusp of greatness here. It
is so close. It is at hand, this victory for G2 now. mousesports need to summon all their strength, all of it, to pull them out of this horrible position. And we'll see the rifles coming in. The AWP comes into Chris J. They don't have any grenades ready. I mean, not nearly as many as they'd want. About half as much as they'd want. No incendiaries, for example. We're going to see aggression here from mousesports. What is the risk going to look like? G2 looking like they want a fast round here, taking a main with 3 players almost immediately, but they do get smoked off. And they do take position behind that smoke.
The problem with this smoke is the top right corner is going to have a gap in it. You saw Jacob trying to jump on the lockers to see through it. It's a little bit temperamental, but he won't find any frags there. So if there's a person playing the quad area, they can be seen through the corner of the smoke sometimes. Nico trying to find an angle, and he's going to take down Rain, actually. I thought that would be a bit disadvantageous for him, but he's going to get the frag regardless and take little damage for it. So what is the play here for G2? There's a minute on the clock for them, and they're all towards A at the moment. Makaleli looking to throw in a smoke.
Nico's there by the forklift. Goes down immediately there to Jacob's rifle. Now Dennis is in a really horrible position. Nobody to play off, but in fact, actually, a team S found its way into the same position. This is incredibly awkward for mousesports. It's all falling to pieces. Just 2 players left in God B and Chris J as they go in for the retake. And Jacob's in a perfect position. Chris J goes down, and now God B, the in-game leader against 4 players. His chances are slim, and he gets attacked from the skies. Fox will take him out with the AK. 15-5, and G2 now on match point, 1 round away from that playoff spot.
Look at the money that mousesports have to play with. The end is nigh for this side, but it's not over until it's over. We're going to have 3 Deagles coming out. The scouts again onto Chris J. Got B with a 5-7. There's much work for mousesports to do here. Will they go for an aggression? Will they go for a stack? Will they go for a passive sight hold and wait for G2 to get deep? Time will tell. Fox is going to be holding a passive position, the same position Chris J was holding earlier on. Going to have a standard play from mousesports so far, 2 towards B. Starting to push now though. Fox can't make the first connection. Rain holding an angle towards mid, but there is the smoke. Fox getting a shot through the smoke onto God B. Rain in there for support as well. So far so good for G2.
And so it begins indeed for G2. Nex is going to make his way, and he knows that a big risk is required to try to level the scales, but that's a trade straight from Dennis, and G2 retake the advantage on the men, and it is only getting worse here for mousesports. Down just to Chris J with that scout in hand. He needs to take down 4 players. They don't know where he is just yet, but there it is. Jacob's going to connect the shot, and G2 go through here at DreamHack Cluj Napoca to that playoff spot.
G2 with a dominating performance in the final map there again. Just an insurmountable lead in the first half, and they continued it in the second. mousesports with only 5 rounds on the board, only 1 in the second half, and that was a pistol instantly got traded. So they showed a valiant effort in the first 2 maps, but G2 just built up too far a lead there in the final one on their CT side.
Very impressed. I can't really say it enough when it comes to G2. This lineup when they were back to when they were King Win and everything. The questions, there are so many. How will this lineup make it happen? Who's going to play what role? How do they get over these communication issues? There are so many things that seem like it could never work. And then we've gone through this huge evolution, different players joining the lineup, and then finally we arrived here at this G2 lineup, and it seems like something that can go quite far and give any team in the world a run for its money.
Well, going forward, the challenges will only get more difficult for G2 as the numbers start to thin out in this tournament. Again, there are more days of Counter-Strike to come and more matches to come today as well, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to go to the stage for an interview now, being led by Redeye.
Thanks very much, Michael Lady. Well done. Congratulations on a fantastic victory. We certainly enjoyed the match ourselves, but what was it like for you in the booth? A bit harder, I would imagine.
The first game was crazy. Good, really good. Everyone is happy.
Yeah, let's talk about that first map a little bit, because you were responsible for basically dragging your team, kicking and screaming to 15-15. You're 15-11 down, and it's clutch after clutch after clutch. What do you put it down to?
I don't know. We just had it. I don't know. We just played super good together, and I think we won like 8 clutches. Doesn't matter. It was like 1-on-1, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. We just won everything and all the important rounds. We lost a couple of important rounds as well, but we managed to win the most important ones.
Second game, Inferno, you must have been sitting there thinking, okay, we're 1-0 up and we're now going to play Inferno, and we've already beaten them on Inferno. This is going to be easy.
They did the homework. They knew exactly how we were going to play, and they did a really good job.
And final map, talk us through it.
Cash, probably one of our strongest map. We have a really good results from before on it. So it's like a home turf, how to say it, like that, if I can say it like that. So we feel comfortable going into Cash, and we just managed to play our own game style and won.
Yeah, definitely look comfortable in it. In terms of where you are now, I know you've qualified for quarters and semis and even a final before at a major, but to do it with these guys for G2 must be a great thrill for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. The major tournament is where you get all the motivation from, kind of, and it's just amazing to be here, to be able to play against all these top teams, even though it's from Europe or America. Everyone enjoys it, everyone is playing really good, and yeah, it's amazing.
Well, good luck in the quarterfinals. We'll see you then. G2 Esports are through to the quarterfinals. Let's find out from our panel what their thoughts are on a thrilling 3-mapper.
Thanks a lot for that, Paul, and an interview with the absolute legend, Makalele, who had a legendary performance in that game. But I just want to say, now we know that we're in a major. What a great series that was. And when we were looking at it, we were thinking these are 2 teams that might, maybe not set the world on fire in terms of performance. It was so close, so back and forth. And in the end, of course, me and Henry's predictions on point. As right as always, of course. So let's talk about this game.
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd like to highlight in this game was that it really could have been 2 maps to mousesports. They could have won the first one, like me and Anders said that mousesports would win. Yeah. No, obviously, actually, what was amazing about this series was first game was really, really good. That was an epic match. Absolutely. I mean, it looked for a long time like, hey, mousesports has got this one. They're going to make it there. G2, the thing about this whole series was, it's like every clutch felt like they could win it. And on the first map particularly, Makalele just like took over the game. He was winning 1v2s left and right,
It was their rounds. It seemed like mousesports had the rounds tied up. It seemed like it was a foregone conclusion. It was 15-14, even on the final round there. It seemed like a 2-on-1. It said, okay, they're going to tie this one out now. They've had so many desperate rounds fall away from them. And then Makalele, just to rub it in, insult to injury, finishes that 2-on-1 as well. He absolutely played out of his skin there as well. What's so funny?
He's an excellent player at 2-on-1s.
And then obviously the huge impact rounds like the pistols as well. Those win you games. If you're winning clutches in those situations, I don't know what's so funny.
I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, in joke.
Inja, okay, of course. Anyway, and then like the thing is as well on that map, Nico had one of the best performances of the tournament as well. Yeah. What did he get, like 34 frags from Mirage? And he's on the losing side of that as well. Like, he must feel absolutely gutted.
I mean, that's what's mad.
He's gonna have his arm round him. Let me buy you a drink.
I was saying that's the thing. I'm not sure like how Nico will do. And then he comes in as a monster performance, and somehow they lose.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he had like those rounds. He was winning clutches himself. You remember that Tech 9 round he had, like winning the 3-on-1 there, and he had the Deagle extravaganza on short as well. Like it was just so many intense moments. Like that really is one of the best games we've seen.
Look, I know we're all chomping at the bit to pick this one apart, right? So let's not do that just yet, because we've got Sir Scoops, who's going to be going a bit more in depth in the mix zone.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I, again, am joined by Makalele. We talked at the start of the tournament. Nice to see you again here in the new tournament interview area. Going to get a little more deeper than Paul got. Obviously, got some initial thoughts from you. But we are going to start on the Mirage. Their map choice. You guys do a lot of, in general, like anti-stratting, a lot of looking at demos of other teams, or you kind of play your game and not dive too much into what the other team might do?
We're just trying to play our own game, and I think that's the way we have to play to make it work. And we managed to win these close situations, these close clutches all the time. We lost some important key rounds as well, but I think in the long run, in the end, we actually won the most important round overall.
Yeah, and as we talked about off camera, you won 5 out of 6 pistols on all the maps. And then even this very first map, you win the pistol, but then J-Karn aces them in apartments, and that's devastating mentally to start the tournament for them, you know, start the map for them.
Yeah, I was baiting for him. I was like standing up there and just tried to die or kill, and I died immediately, and then he just sprayed them down with a P90. Easy.
Yeah, easy peasy, right? And then you jump to round 7. That's when you pull off a clutch, if you will. They don't plant. I think ends up being a 1-on-2. You stall them long enough, and then you end up killing them both.
Oh yeah, that round. I was short. Yeah, I think it was a 1-on-3 and 3. Yeah. And I killed the guys in B apps. They played it too slow, I think. If they just rushed B, they would have won the round, but they just played it too slow and wanted to kill me, and I managed to win the situation. It was actually Dennis that said it was only 4 seconds left when I killed the last guy, and I didn't know that either. If he didn't tell me, I would probably try to kill the guy on short.
Don't peek, what are you doing? What are you doing? So we'll skip forward a little bit. Obviously, I wrote your name as kind of the boss of that map, obviously the clutches. You go into overtime. Quick question about overtimes in general. The way the rules are set up now is you stay on the side that you ended on. And you guys had nice momentum kind of going into that overtime, and it showed. Do you think that should be a coin flip in general, or should that just stay the way it is?
I don't think it matters. I think teams know how to play their own, like on their sides. And we managed to win 2 rounds. We actually would have won the last round, but Chris J was like clutching a 1-on-2 with a Deagle or something. But in general, overtimes, I think it's okay. I mean, it's fair and square. We started as CT the first time, now we started as T, you know, so I think it's fair and square.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to Inferno. Again, your map choice, you do lose it. I wrote Nico down, 22 and 10. Thoughts on Nico on that map?
Nico is a really good player. He's just super good, and I don't know what more to say about him. He's a raw talent. He will probably be one of the best players in the world. Maybe not this year or next year, but he will be eventually. He just crushed us. He was so good, and yeah, he won. He was mousesports.
Yeah, and you definitely were mounted a comeback. I mean, they sat on the 15th round for quite a while. What goes through your guys' mind? I mean, we always go 1 round at a time. Don't worry about it. You know, it's easy when you're sitting there watching it. You guys thinking the same thing, or what goes in your mind when you're on that game point against you?
We knew that at Mirage we were down 15-11, and we actually managed to come down and to close the game in overtime. And we hadn't thought that we could do the same in Inferno. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that, but it was really close. I think it was like 16-13, and we were down like 16-8 or something. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we just, yeah, of course you're trying your best all the time, even though it's 15-1, 15-0, 15-2. You just have to play and just try to win.
And let's jump to the last match. Again, you can see him a lot less notes. I mean, you were on a roll, 8 straight rounds, and even then they never really got much going till the very end. And literally almost all you guys are written down here. Dennis, Rain jumps in. Like, it was just a hell of a match for you guys.
Yeah, as I said with Red Eye, Cash is one of our strongest map. We feel really, it's like our home turf. We could just enjoy playing the map because everyone knows exactly how their mates are playing. And we just tried to play our own game style again, and we did that, and we just closed it out pretty easily, I would say. They had some good rounds, some close rounds that we won, and I don't know if it would have been if they won it, but in the end we won the most important rounds there as well.
And now your next opponent tomorrow, not necessarily, well, none of them are easy, but Virtus Pro. Thoughts on Virtus Pro's matchup tomorrow?
16-0.
16-0 twice, right?
Yeah, before, so probably. Yeah.
So 2-0, you're calling it, you're aiming, home run, 2-0.
I hope so.
Got to have the confidence. All right, well, congratulations again. That's going to do it for us. And obviously, we're going back to the desk after commercial break. And then again, it just gets hotter. Titan is going to take on Nip.
Hello and welcome back to the show. So it's time for the final map between these two teams fighting for survival here in Cluj, Napoca. So it's down to cash between these two teams. Dan, what are your thoughts?
It's been a pretty crazy ride, actually. It's pretty amazing to witness mousesports able to be in this position where they can bring it to the third map. After the first map, it's so close. Then things weren't looking too amazing for them. I mean, it was a pretty close first half, but I wasn't very confident because it feels like G2 have been playing better overall so far in this series. But they brought it to cash, so it's that moment to reset. It's that moment to bring it all to a close and make it through the groups. And what a moment it could be for either one of these teams. It's such a huge deal to get through the groups and become a legend, James.
So you can see them having a quick chat with some of the DreamHack guys there, and they'll be moving into the booth to get on with the match. So one of the key points I think will be, at least for G2 here, is if they can get their economy off the ground here on the CT side mainly, how many AWPs are we going to see? Are we going to see a solo B AWP? Are we going to see mid AWP, mid and A AWP? There are so many options for them, and they have so many AWPers down.
The thing about this map is that it used to be very strong for GT, one of their best, and it's because you can't really deny the aim duels, which is of course something that they're very strong at. It's one of the reasons why they love Train as well, because Train is this spot where you have chaos and you get all these aim battles, and it really suits G2. Okay, back in the days of Scream, that's what we're talking about. That was when they were best at their cash game because of these factors. Because you could get Scream, you could get him on the B-bomb site, and he could do so much with rifles just by himself. He was very, very good for the team in that sense. But to replace him, we've got JChem now. And JChem is actually a very, very good rifler, and he's been very consistent recently. And of course, we've been seeing good performances from him. So I don't even see it as a huge downgrade in any real sense.
Thing happen from these two teams as well. So we'll see how meticulous their strategies are and who will come out on top. But again, it will come down to the duels ultimately. About 45 seconds away now. And the tension, I'm sure, will build as this match goes on.
Yeah, I mean, usually you would expect the strength of mousesports, or the advantage that they would have is in leadership and having a very seasoned veteran, a 1.6 veteran in GOB, previously of the mousesports fame. In 1.6, he's been around for a very long time, and he rules the mousesports camp with 9 Fist, and he's very, very critical. And he's very, very serious, probably one of the most competitive people in this professional scene. And here we go, we're about to start things here on the cash between G2, Esports, and mousesports. And it is the decider to decide who will go through to the playoffs.
Well, here we go. Now let's see what the buy is going to be for these two teams. Again, Gobby going straight for the grenades. As per usual, Dennis and Nico picking up the Kevlar. G2, are they going to go for a kit? Yeah, Makalele's going to be the kit man. HE, the rest of the team going for the Kevlar. Chris J going to smoke off Z connector immediately from T-spawn and hold a flash for his teammates as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go straight for the test of middle, as they had smoked it off, as pointed out. And now, Rainy can't really get much info for his team. Jacob's close, though, and he's got a bit of crossfire situation, albeit a bit of an awkward one. He's going to get challenged. He's going to go right to the challenge with that USP. He gets the quick frag onto Chris J. This is working out amazingly well for G2. Rain is popping heads. There's just one player left in God B. He's stuck by the box in the vent room. Now he's tagged down. He gets backstabbed by Dennis, and that round was completely crushed by G2.
That is a fabulous start. Rain actually did it on the T side. So this should be, do you think this will be another close one?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it has to be, to make sense, because these two teams are so close. And when it comes to, I can't really find a huge difference. The only difference I can really see is maybe G2 have a bit more strength maybe when it comes to the AWPing potential. We just spoke of that, and I don't know how much that's going to factor in, because it depends on how the money goes on both sides, how the rounds will play out. But generally speaking, G2 They've got a lot of great power when it comes to the clutches and also the riflers, just as mousesports have. I really don't know how to separate these two teams in this series. I expect this to be very close indeed, and I hope that it will be, because so far it's been pretty exhilarating, especially the first map. Mirage was excellent to kick off the series. 19-16 victory, as you guys can see. Well, as what we can see. I'm staring at the game, James.
Yeah. Right. So, again, one thing that's going to play a part in this as well is the executes and the variation of executes. We can expect to see walls of smoke coming into the mid area, which gives the T side an opportunity to either go for a B split or suggest a B split, pop the vent, but not commit to it. We've seen mousesports have nice plays, which has caused big rotations on the G2 side. That's a really weird camera shot on the G2 side. But the question is, can they force those rotations on their T side? The countdown has begun. We're just over a minute to starting this game. But again, like I would like to see if mousesports can cause those over rotations on the G2 side and punish them for it. You know, we see tactics from Versus Pro, for example, where they'll have like snacks lurking outside B halls, and they'll throw the Molotov into the vent, and then the CT will jump out back into B and get punished by snacks and killed for it. I would like to see that kind of AWPing on Dust 2, I think it was yesterday as well, but we've seen a lot of Fox AWPing today, and he's been very effective with it. So, you know, if they change who's AWPing in a certain position mid-game, then it's a change of style as well and approach between these individual AWPers, and that might be a problem. On the T side, I really hope to see Dennis picking up a AWP, because again, going back to the LGB days, he was insanely aggressive on this map with an AWP, always charging up the boost spot, just looking for those engagements. But again, versus Chris J, if he's got an AWP, then maybe he's not going to be that aggressive. We'll have to see. There's many dynamics to play through here.
Yeah, it's a really big AWP map indeed. I mean, with the Michael point, I actually feel like I much prefer Fox on the AWP and then Dennis on the AWP to then having Michael on the AWP. Like in that order, that for me, that's where I want to see the AWPs going in priority. Generally speaking, of course, spawns play into factor. You know, what kind of round you want to play plays into the factor as well. Because Michael is less consistent on hitting some of those key shots. Because the best AWPer is the guy that just hits all the shots. It's not the guy that takes the crazy risks and goes for the crazy flick shots and crazy plays. He's the consistent guy you can rely on in most situations, and I don't think they need, you know, a super aggressive throwaway AWPer. And Fox has been showing he's been very consistent, and that's very key. And also he's been besting Chris J in a lot of these duels and outplaying him in the sense of AWPing power and strength. So it's nice to see that they've actually changed this role, because Fox, I don't think he's nearly as effective on a rifle as well.
Yeah, and also the fact that Fox has been one of the main AWPers in this match has allowed Makelele to still be alive in those late positions where he's clutched so many rounds and kept them in this match to begin with. So the change is working out for G2 at the moment. But again, they're down to the last map now, and now we're just waiting for the final mousesports plays to connect and get this match underway. So G2 are going to be starting on the CT side. No knife rounds. mousesports going to be...
It's an upgrade in other areas, as JChem is, you know, worse in some spots and better in others. He's a great player overall, and so I feel like G2 actually have big advantage, a pretty decent advantage. For me, it's going to take a massive performance out of Nico again. Chris J is going to have to start hitting the shots with the AWP more consistently, and Nex has to find his game, because right now we haven't been seeing the big results from Nex that we expect. He's the star player of the team. Nico is there. He's also of the star level, but Nex was the first guy from mousesports that showed, and he showed himself to almost be the scariest player from Germany as well. So need a big game out of Nex.
Well, we've had two fairly close scores in the first two matches. We'll see if these teams have the endurance to go all the way through the third as well. I'm just waiting for Fox to reconnect to the server, and then I think this will be underway here. So everyone's had a chance for a quick break, chance to collect their thoughts and consider their approach for much more open map in Cash. Again, going to have those long ranges. Good opportunities for some aggression for the CTs as well. Flanks over the boost. But of course, every risk comes with a reward for both sides.
Yeah, this to me is probably, it has the potential to be the most exciting map between these two teams. So I'm really geared up for this one. And well, when it comes to, we talked a little bit about player performances. Is there, well, I did at least, is there anyone that you think stands out for you, or something that you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing the battle of the AWPs, basically. Chris J versus more than half of
Fox, Dennis,
of G2. And
Michael
the thing is, like even if they don't go for multiple AWPs, G2, if they go for one AWP and they change it between plays, like we've seen, traditionally what we've seen online is Makalele's been a primary AWPer for G2 a lot of the time. We saw him